Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Michael. I'm a photographer based out of Belgium, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the newest addition to my film camera collection, the Canon EOS 1N. I'm going to tell you why you should consider getting this camera, why you shouldn't get this camera, and why I personally bought this camera. Let's get into it. So the Canon EOS 1N is a film camera. It's one of the last film cameras Canon made before they solely started focusing on DSLRs. So this means that this camera has a ton of newer features that you're not going to find on older SLR cameras. This camera has a bunch of different modes. You can shoot it in shutter priority, aperture priority, or you can even shoot it fully automatic. So if you're new to film, you're still learning, or maybe you're the type of person who just likes pointing and shooting, then this camera is perfect for you because it's really easy to use. It even has a servo mode, so if you're shooting moving objects or you're shooting sports for instance, then this camera is very useful as well. Although I wouldn't recommend it because film is very expensive, but you do have the option to shoot in servo. It also has a double exposure mode, which is really cool and something I will definitely use. And another cool feature is it automatically winds and rewinds your film. So if you're having trouble winding and rewinding your film, this camera will do everything for you. Then one of the biggest features of why I think people end up buying this particular camera is because it has an EF mount. So if you already have a Canon system that uses EF lenses, you can use all of those lenses on this camera. So yeah, super cool feature because this means that you can use newer, more quality lenses on a film camera body, which is very rare. So another feature and one of the main reasons why I bought this camera is because it has a great autofocus system. So this camera has 5 autofocus points which you can switch using this little dial on top, and it focuses really fast. So if you're having trouble getting your shots in focus, this is going to make your life a lot easier as well. That sums up most of the positives. Let's talk about the negatives. First of all, this camera is really heavy. So I have a Sony a7 IV with 24-70, which I'm filming on right now, which is already super heavy. This camera is even heavier. So mine came equipped with this battery pack. You can take this battery pack off, but even without the battery pack, this camera is very heavy and large. I'll show you a picture compared to my Sony a7 IV so you can see the difference. The downside is the price. The camera body itself is fairly cheap. I bought mine for 140 euros. Came with the battery pack included, so this is fairly cheap, but depending on what lens you want, it can get very expensive. So I have a nifty 50 on here right now, which is a very cheap lens, but if you want, let's say 85 1.4 or just a higher quality lens, it will get a lot more expensive, so keep that in mind. Another downside is the autofocus doesn't work that great in low light, which is to be expected. I mean, it is a newer autofocus system for a film camera. It performs better than older film cameras, that's for sure, but it's not a new autofocus system. So in low light situations, you might have to manually focus. Another downside, because this is a newer camera, it doesn't have that classic SLR look and feel. So it is really fun to use, but it doesn't feel the same as using like a mechanical SLR camera. Let's talk about why I personally bought this camera. Biggest reason why I ended up buying this camera is because I wanted a camera that was a little bit more reliable. I'm pretty new at shooting film, so I still make mistakes. I will miss focus, I will underexpose or overexpose. So yeah, this camera gives me a little bit more wiggle room. I really like to start shooting portraits on film, and when you're shooting portraits, you're dealing with people. So I want to be able to deliver quality results to my clients, to my models, and having a camera like this will make that a lot easier. So yeah, that's the biggest reason why I personally bought this camera. That pretty much sums it up. If you would like to see this camera in action, keep an eye out on my channel because I'm going to be making a behind the scenes video using this camera. Besides that, if you like this type of videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.